It's stupid.
It's pointless.
It's irrelevant.
It's Things That Matter with Mike and Nev. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's Things That Matter with Mike and Nev. I'm Nevin Barrett. He's Michael Feldman. Now, Mike, for this week's topic, I need your help to kind of verbalize it a little bit.
All right.
So what I want to ask is this. When a man and a woman go out on a date, and the date is over, is it a bad sign when the guy does not text the woman afterwards? So let me paint the scene again.
Okay.
A man and a woman go out on the first date.
Right.
And then afterwards, the man does not text the woman. And I guess in this case, you can say he doesn't text, he doesn't call, he doesn't email.
Oh,
he doesn't communicate in any way, shape, or form. Even to say something along the lines of, hey, had a great time, thanks so much. There's no communication from him for like a few days. Is that automatically a bad sign?
Funny. I think yes. Personally, I think it is a bad sign. But what I will say is that sometimes there's a chance that the guy is thinking about it, and isn't sure. But I would think, especially because, we're guys, right? When we go on...
We are guys.
We are
We're men.
We are men.
So we can speak about
this. Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Wow, how does that... That's incredible.
So give the man perspective.
This is all I would say, is that, when I was in the dating scene, if I went on a good date, I was excited. And really... In a way, I mean, I was hoping that the woman would communicate right away.
Right. Because you want to lock that in. You want to let her know, hey, I'm into you.
Yeah.
I don't want another guy to kind of jump in here. I want you to know what I'm about.
Because this really is, I think, a scenario where, in a lot of ways, the woman at this point, after the date, has so much of the power.
True.
Right?
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I think if the guy doesn't text back, that's a little weird, just knowing how we work.
That's exactly what I think. Yeah. I'm actually in complete agreement with you on this.
Yeah.
Especially in today's dating scene, where it's actually so much easier for a guy to communicate.
Right.
So basically, I think that after the date, if the guy doesn't send you a text back immediately, I say as soon as that night, just to say, hey, had a great time, hey, great meeting you, something, anything, that is automatically a bad sign. Because no matter how the dating scene has changed over the years, the one constant, I think, is this. When a guy is really into a woman, the guy will automatically try to lock something down.
Absolutely.
He does not play hard to get in that fashion.
Right.
Now, I think it's also true that any man loves when the woman initiates something, whether it's communication, whether it's setting up a date, physical, whatever.
Right.
A guy always loves when a woman initiates. But the guy in that scenario is not automatically waiting for the woman to communicate first. If he wants to communicate, he will. And again, it's a lot easier now with things like text messaging being a perfect example.
Yeah. It's funny we're talking about this. I mean, you're right. It is so much easier. I mean, one thing... do you think there's too much of it? Like too much communication after a first date? And what I mean by that is you think about, when you and I were in the dating scene, right? It was basically the woman had to give you the right phone number, right? And you could easily mess it up.
Oh,
It was that was one thing that happened to me.
Oh, it happened to me.
And she didn't even mean to give me the wrong number. And it was
bad.
It was crazy.
And later on, they'd give you the wrong pager number. That was even worse.
Then email, and that was
we've all been there.
Oh, yeah. But what I'm saying is nowadays you've got texting, obviously you've got Facebook,
right?
And Instagram, I mean all this stuff, and it's do you think it's too much for the guy, right? Like let's say let's say the guy texts and she doesn't respond. Is it too crazy to do Facebook then to do all this stuff and try to I don't know.
It's a good question. I mean, the guy definitely has more options than he used to.
Right.
I do think sometimes it gets to be a little too much. I think
this is vice versa for the woman too.
True.
Just saying,
well, let's take the guy's perspective for a second. So let's say the date goes really well, and the guy wants to communicate. First thing he's going to do is send a text message.
Right. Yeah.
It's the easiest form of communication. Yeah. Personally, I think that if the woman doesn't respond to the text message, doing something like Facebook or Instagram or whatever, something. is a little bit of overkill.
Yeah.
Maybe I think what the guy would do in that case. So let's say you're a woman and you and I go on a date. So pretend you have a vagina and go ahead and are you there?
I'm working on it.
You work on it while I do this scenario.
All right.
Okay, you and I go out on a date. We have a great time. I send you a text.
Okay, I'm there.
Okay, cool.
I got it.
Hey, Michaela, we had a great time. I had a great time with you.
Okay.
Hope to see you again soon.
Yeah.
No response to the text. What I would do at that point, I wouldn't Facebook you directly, and I wouldn't maybe Twitter you directly. I'd wait till you post some sort of Facebook status, and then I'd comment on that status, letting you know that I'm still around, I'm still here, but I'm not necessarily, coming at you directly for the purposes of seeing you again.
See, now this is something though where I feel like in that scenario what you just said, that's cool. I like it.
Right.
Now that I apparently have a vagina, I especially like it. But the thing that's
a
weird,
very nicest vagina, I'm going to assume. I'm a gentleman. I don't want to rush things. Yeah, that's just me. I'm old school. I'm old school.
I'll just go ahead and say it. I do have a really nice
Okay,
vagina.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
According to the scenario. But anyways, But what's interesting is that, I think one thing that's different now, right, is how public things are.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Because
in that scenario, I mean, you're being pretty public by just commenting on a status.
Exactly,
like you can just get shot down.
But see, that's where I think it's a little safe. Because I'm not, because let's say, I'm not like putting something on your timeline about the date.
Okay.
I'm just commenting on the status. So it's kind of like, hey, so don't forget about me. I'm putting myself back on your radar screen. You see what I'm saying?
All right.
Not bad for a 34-year-old who's been out of the game for quite some time.
Pretty good.
Not bad, right?
Good.
Thank you, Michaela.
I mean, you're welcome, Nevin. The other thing I wonder though is that, I'm assuming your scenario, right, is two people who just somehow, who knows how they met, but they're not.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how they met. They went out on a first date.
Went on a first date. But see, there's one other wrinkle to this that I can think of.
Right.
Like work date. Like a work date, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like your coworkers,
yeah.
And you go out on the date, and the guy texts, and you don't text back, but you're going to see them the next day,
right? Yeah,
is that different?
Well, I think that's a little different. Because,
I don't know
because you know why? Because that is it's different circumstances. I think when you're on a date with somebody, it's like I'm on a date because I'm interested in you, and when you're interested in me in some way, shape, or form. Right. Whether it's because we had a great conversation, or we met online. I find you attractive, you find me attractive. So I'm talking about that sort of date where we are in the pretext of there's something about you that I want to find out more about,
and I don't see you every day.
Exactly. So this is something different.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about like a first date, basically.
Right.
And so I think like in that scenario, after the date, I can't see any situation where the guy does not communicate in some way and that be a good thing.
Right.
I think that's automatically a bad thing. Now, back in the day, when you and I were dating, when the main form of communication was the phone, then I can see. Back then they had for you young listeners, you may not remember the 2 or 3 day rule.
Oh, I remember it very well.
Yeah, so it was like, when do you call? It was more complicated.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah, so
I never that was a great.
I never understood
that was so funny, that whole thing. Because that was like there was some secret, psychological thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like I remember I remember reading about this and hearing, you're don't call right away.
Right, don't call the next day.
That'll seem too needy.
Exactly, or too pushy. You don't want to scare them away. Wait a couple of days, kind of let them know, hey, it was so weird. And I guess, you know what? It was a little frustrating because there is. I think there is some truth to that to an extent. On the other hand, it was sort of hard because again, let's go back to that scenario. Yeah. Let's go back to the 90s. Okay.
Wow.
Now,
wait, do I still have a vagina?
No. In this case, you can go back to being a man.
All right. Cool.
Okay. Put your penis back on. Okay, which I'm going to assume is nice. I don't want to know, but I'm just because I talked about your vagina. I'm sure Michael Phelps has a nice penis.
I will cop to that.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Anyways.
Okay.
All right. But so back in the 90s...
Okay, it's back on now.
Okay, good.
Okay, good.
Let's say we wait 2 or 3 days, then I give the girl a call, and I get her voicemail, and I don't hear back. That sucks.
Worst.
That's the worst.
It happened to me at least once or twice.
Happened to me more than twice.
Yeah, probably. Another thing our listeners are probably not used to, the busy signal, which happened to me a couple of times, which was so weird.
Oh, horrible.
Because I was, heart pounding in my chest,
and
calling, and then the busy signal, I'm like, oh my God, am I ever doing it again?
The worst thing is the few seconds before you get the voicemail.
Oh, yeah.
Those rings. Rings once, twice, 3. And what if it keeps ringing?
Right.
So how many rings before I hang up the phone? Today's generation doesn't have to deal with these things, Mike.
I have a theory. That whole 2-day, 3-day rule was invented by a woman to mess with a guy's head. But let me say why. Because I understand the psychology of, not wanting to seem pushy, right? Not wanting to just be like, kind of scary seeming like, oh, I want to go out with you right away, blah, blah, blah. And no one knows. And also there's this kind of weird thing about having the woman want, like longing, or something weird like that. I don't know about you, but for me, it would just cause me to think about nothing but this call.
Yep.
For 2 days.
Oh, it's true.
3 days.
Absolutely.
And utterly obsess over it. And at least once, or actually more than once, I would call and I'd get them, and I'd be like, hey, do you want to go out? And they'd be like, oh yeah, sure. Like it was nothing.
Like nothing, yeah.
Like they hadn't been thinking about it.
But you know they have.
I mean, probably,
they have.
Probably, but this thing is it's so hard to sound smooth.
It is tough.
Right?
It is. And
that's
the thing with text messaging today.
Right.
Today's generation has it so easy. You just send a quick text message and you're done. And you can
even mess up spelling.
Yeah,
and nobody cares.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
Doesn't matter. It's so easy. And it's so expected. And here's the great thing also.
Yeah.
It doesn't lock you into anything. Say you actually didn't hit it off with a girl.
Right.
You can still send a text message. Maybe keep her on the hook if you want to, just in case.
If you want.
And now the power is back with you. So, Mike, we've touched upon a lot of things with this podcast, but I think the main thing is this. In the scenario, when a man and a woman go out on a date, when the man does not connect with you afterwards, let's say via text message, it is never, under any circumstances, a good sign. Ladies, beware. A tip from Mike and Nev. Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Things That Matter with Mike and Nev. For Michael Feldman, I'm Nevin Barrich. It's the Things That Matter.